Well, hello, everybody. It's Congressman Jamie Raskin. I'm sending all my best greetings to all of my friends and constituents throughout Maryland's beautiful 8th District and our friends across Maryland and across the country. It's Friday, September the 1st, launching Labor Day weekend. Labor Day is, of course, on Monday, the 4th of September, and I will be in Kensington and also in Gaithersburg for those Labor Day parades. But this is the time for my favorite time of the week, Local Hero, when we get to celebrate the people who make life so wonderful here. And because it's our Labor Day weekend, I wanted to salute our local hero, Vicente Lopez, who lives in Olney, Maryland, and is an adjudications officer at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS, for more than 20 years. But he's the executive vice president of our local, I think it's 1924, of AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. And he's been doing that for 2 decades, ever since he became an adjudications officer at USCIS. But he's very active with the union as well as an expert government employee. So Vicente, for all of your work in the labor movement and representing people in AFGE, I wanted to recognize you and congratulate you on being our local hero.
Thank you, Congressman Raskin.
The AFGE, AFGE has 750,000 employees across Maryland and the DC area, but all across the country and throughout every part of the federal government. And you're an executive vice president in local, is it 1924, if I'm remembering?
Yes.
1924. So tell us about your work as the executive VP of this local and what it is you do and the labor union does to represent workers and to enhance the effectiveness of the workplace overall.
Well, we are a large local. We represent about over 2,300 employees. One of our largest offices is headquarters. So in the last couple of years, we moved to Camp Springs, Maryland. Beautiful, nice new building out there. We also represent USCIS offices in Virginia. So a couple field offices in Fairfax and Norfolk. We also have the asylum office in Roslyn, and then in Washington, D.C., where our headquarters used to be, but we still have a couple offices still there, including our refugee corps. So it keeps us very busy, a lot of meetings with a lot of the virtual work, a lot of virtual meetings, but we still have in-person meetings sometimes as well.
So, but what is some of the representation that you do of the couple thousand members of this local? I mean, is it mediating workplace issues, responding to troubleshooting problems? I mean, what is the work involved?
It's a variety of work. I mean, just yesterday, I had an EEO mediation in which an employee felt that they were discriminated against, but meeting with new employees every pay period, having meetings with management in those variety of different offices. And when I was talking about headquarters, I mean, it's headquarters, a variety of different offices, field operations, service center operations, all kinds of different offices, but and also investigative meetings. Most employees have the right to have a union rep with them if they wish during investigative interviews, and then a variety of other work as well.
Gotcha. So a lot of people think that unions and management are always at loggerheads. My experience has been that unions are often essential to maintaining the coherence and the smooth functioning of the workplace. And I wonder what your experience has been along those lines.
Well, we try to look for common interests, but again, we're looking out for the interests of our employees. So you know, when employees tell us something that they would like management to know, we kind of speak for them. So you know, if they don't want to tell management themselves, the union can can hold meetings and let management know the interests of the employees.
Gotcha. All right. There's a lot of talk about the possibility of a government shutdown taking place. There certainly seem to be some political forces who desire a government shutdown. This is something that we lived through several years ago at the beginning of the Trump administration. And I'm just wondering what your experience with government shutdowns has been and what you think the prospects are of a government shutdown now.
I mean, we hope that there is no government shutdown. I mean, we're hoping for at least a continuing resolution. Although most of our employees, our salaries come from the application receipts, from naturalization applications, adjustment of status. But there are some positions that are appropriated, so it would affect some of our members if there was a shutdown. So we are hoping to avoid that.
Yeah. After the last one, we were able to legislate to say that government workers should not, be terminated in their pay during the course of a government shutdown, which is obviously completely out of their hands and up to Congress. And so most government workers would not have an interruption in pay, and yet it's profoundly disruptive of people's work lives and also the efficiency of the government to have that happening. And I know that AFGE has been very strong in speaking against government shutdowns as a political tool and calling on us in Congress to do our job. I mean, nothing could be more fundamental than just passing a budget to keep the government funded. Right now, government funding is going to run out on September the 30th if we don't act. And so, we've got these 12 appropriations bills, only one of which has been passed through Congress so far. So there's still 11 to go. And there is the possibility, as you say, of a continuing resolution, but we don't know where that's headed. But I've wanted to make sure that people understand that federal workers are real people, millions of real people who are working, and they should not be disrupted and have a monkey wrench thrown into their work lives by this. But fundamentally, the problem is that government services and benefits and rights and entitlements are not being met during that period. Is there anything else you want to say to the thousands of government workers who you represent in your position as executive VP of the local?
I mean, just a happy Labor Day, and I hope, I mean, federal employees who are, we're just trying to do our best to do our jobs and for the United States.
Well, you certainly are, and you're doing a great job for the American people and also for the workers you represent and the additional responsibilities you've taken on as a union official for AFGE. We thank you for your service, for everything you do. You're our local hero, and I wish you, Vicente, and your family a happy Labor Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman.